Hello everyone and welcome back to her channel. Anthea here. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you are a new viewer, welcome. Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos every week, and if you would like to become a patron, there is a link to her Patreon page in the description box down below. But let's get on to today's topic, which is BDSM or master-slave contracts. What they are they legally binding, why should you have one, and more. So, what is a contract? A contract is an agreement between two or more people outlining the expectations, agreements, and basic rules of the relationship. Is it legally binding? No. You can't go to a notary or a lawyer and have the contract be made legally binding. It just doesn't work that way. Master-slave contracts are more of an ethically or morally binding agreement. So why should you have one? Well, unlike a verbal agreement, a written contract can minimize the risk of miscommunication concerning expectations, rules, or agreements that the people involved in the contract have entered into. It can also provide a baseline for what you want your relationship to look like and can include, but isn't limited to, your expectations, your basic ground rules, limits, and punishments if punishment is a part of your relationship dynamic. For others, it can be a very comforting thing to have a document that can be reviewed or just looked at as a reminder at any time if they feel lost, or maybe they feel they forgot an expectation or are unclear on a rule later on down the line. Do we have a contract? Yes. This girl is the only one in Master's household to be a contracted slave. Why do we have one? For us, this girl having a contract covers the first 2 points of comfort and reminders. Even though she knows by now that the agreements and expectations Master and she have together, being able to go back over it periodically just for herself at any time refreshes them in her mind. What is in our contract? In our contract, it covers Master's daily expectations of her girl, both physically and mentally. It also covers speech requirements and the consequences if, say, this girl forgets to refer to herself in third person, interactions with other members of Master's household, what things require permission, basic expectations on things like honesty, communication, also titles of address for Master versus other free persons. Our contracts also have 1-year time periods. So our contracts are good for 1 year. Are contracts Korean? Yes. There is a passage in the book Blood Brothers of Gore concerning limited slave contracts, and these can range from anywhere from an evening to a year. Within that time frame, the woman is then no longer free, but a complete and total slave. Let's see. Is your contract flexible? Yes. At the end of every year term, we go back over our contract and discuss if the previous agreements are still desired by both parties. If we want to add anything new, do we want to edit anything that was in the previous contract? And do we both consent to a continued master-slave relationship? Once these conditions have been met, then the contract is updated. If anything new is to be added, it's given a new date and term, and then we do something to celebrate our anniversary. Do you need a contract? No, not everyone in a power exchange relationship needs or even has to have a contract. It doesn't make your relationship any more or less official. In our household, Master's male slave and male submissive are not contracted. Their relationships are verbally agreed upon and continuous in their flow. So when their anniversary comes around, they celebrate it and the relationship just keeps going. Neither Master's slave or submissive would say that their relationship with Master is any less valid because of a lack of a contract. So you can choose to have a contract or not. Just do what works for your relationship. If you need examples of contracts, you can literally Google BDSM contract, and you can find many examples. She hopes that this video was entertaining and gave you some ideas for your own relationship. So she will see you next week with a new video. Bye.